Clara stepped off the stagecoach, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The dust swirled around her ankles, and the sun beat down on the rough wooden buildings of the wild frontier town. This was not the refined life she had imagined when she decided to become a mail-order bride. Yet, her dreams of love and adventure pushed her forward. With her Bible clutched tightly in one hand and a small bag slung over her shoulder, Clara took a deep breath. The smell of horses and cigars filled the air, blending with the distant sound of laughter and music coming from the saloon. She hesitated for just a moment, her mind racing with thoughts of what was to come. Would she find the love she yearned for? Or would the reality of this rough town shatter her hopes? Determined to step into this new chapter, Clara crossed the threshold of the saloon. A wave of noise welcomed her, and she braced herself for what lay ahead. She was ready to face whatever challenges came her way, armed with her faith and a heart full of hope. As Clara stepped into the saloon, the vibrant atmosphere enveloped her like a warm blanket. The room was alive with the sounds of lively music, the strumming of a guitar, and laughter that echoed off the wooden walls. Cowboys in dusty hats leaned against the bar, their rough faces lit up with excitement as they shared stories over mugs of frothy beer. The scent of whiskey mingled with the aroma of roasted meats wafting from the kitchen, creating an intoxicating blend that filled the air. In one corner, a group of gamblers gathered around a green felt table, their voices rising in cheers and groans as they played cards. Clara's heart raced at the chaos around her. It was far from the peaceful life she had envisioned. Instead of quiet evenings by the fire, she was surrounded by raucous energy and a hint of danger. Determined not to let her apprehension overwhelm her, Clara scanned the crowd for familiar faces but found only strangers. Each laugh and shout seemed to remind her that she was in a world unlike any she had known. Holding her Bible tightly, she steeled herself for whatever came next in this bustling saloon filled with unexpected surprises. As Clara stood in the bustling saloon, her thoughts drifted back to the life she had left behind. Growing up in a small, quiet town, she had always dreamed of more than the predictable path laid out before her. The letters she received from potential suitors promised a new beginning filled with excitement and adventure. The idea of becoming a mail-order bride seemed like a chance to escape the mundane and find true love in a land where anything was possible. Clara longed for a partner who would share her hopes and dreams, someone to build a life with amid the vast wilderness. She envisioned cozy evenings spent under starlit skies, forging a deep connection with a man who would cherish her as much as she would cherish him. Though the decision to come here was daunting, her desire for a better life pushed her forward. Now, standing in this lively saloon teeming with rough-and-tumble men, Clara felt both exhilarated and vulnerable. She knew that finding love wouldn't be easy in this unpredictable environment, but she was determined to seek out her dream, one filled with hope, laughter, and perhaps even the warmth of true companionship. With her heart pounding, Clara took a deep breath and stepped deeper into the saloon, the noise washing over her like an unexpected wave. She clutched her Bible tightly to her chest, seeking comfort in its familiar weight. As she hesitated near the entrance, several pairs of eyes turned toward her, their curious glances making her cheeks flush. "Look at the new bride!" a tall cowboy exclaimed with a grin, nudging his friend. Clara felt a mixture of nervousness and determination swirl within her. These men were rough around the edges, but she reminded herself that she was here for a reason. She needed to show them she was not just another pretty face. She was strong and ready to carve out her place in this new world. Gathering her courage, Clara approached the bar where a burly bartender stood polishing glasses. "Excuse me," she said, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her stomach. "I'm looking for someone I could talk to about finding a home here." The bartender paused, raising an eyebrow but nodding slowly. Clara felt a spark of hope ignite as she realized that perhaps this chaotic saloon could be the first step toward her new life. Just as Clara began to feel a glimmer of hope, a rough cowboy swaggered over, his spurs jingling with each step. He was tall and broad-shouldered, with a scruffy beard that framed a scowling face. "What do we have here?" he sneered, his eyes narrowing as he looked her up and down. A little lady lost in the wrong part of town. Clara's heart raced, and she instinctively tightened her grip on her Bible. She could feel the eyes of the other patrons watching the confrontation unfold. "I'm just looking for someone to help me," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady despite the quiver of fear within her. The cowboy laughed harshly, leaning closer so she could smell the whiskey on his breath. "Help? In this place? You'll need more than that pretty book to survive here." His words dripped with disdain, and Clara felt a flush of anger rise within her. Determined not to let him intimidate her, she straightened her shoulders and met his gaze. "I'm not afraid of you or anyone else here," she declared, surprising even herself with her boldness. The tension in the air thickened as the cowboy stepped back, taken aback by her fierce spirit. Clara knew this was just the beginning of her challenges in this wild frontier town. As the tension between Clara and the rough cowboy hung in the air, she felt an urgent need to remember her purpose for coming to this wild town. She couldn't just rely on her words. She had to be prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead. Reaching into her small bag, she fished around until her fingers brushed against something cold and metallic. Pulling it out, Clara revealed a single bullet, its silver sheen catching the light of the saloon. The sight of it sent a chill down her spine, but it also sparked a sense of resolve within her. The bullet was more than just an object. It symbolized the danger of this new life, yet also her determination to stand up for herself if necessary. In that moment, recalling the conversations she had overheard about violence and lawlessness in the frontier, Clara knew this tiny piece of metal could mean survival. She tucked it back into her bag but kept the memory of it close at hand, reminding herself that she was not just a bride seeking love. She was a woman ready to defend what mattered most to her. With a newfound strength coursing through her veins, Clara realized that she would face any challenge head-on. Clara felt a surge of strength as she stood tall before the cowboy, who still sneered at her with disdain. Her heart raced, but instead of fear, she drew comfort from her faith. The words from her Bible echoed in her mind, reminding her that courage came not just from physical strength, but from the conviction in her heart. She was here for a purpose, and nothing would drive her away. "Listen," Clara said firmly, finding her voice amidst the noise of the saloon. "I have every right to be here just as much as you do. I'm not afraid of you or what you think." She held his gaze steadily, feeling a quiet confidence swell within her. It was as if her faith had transformed into a protective shield, bolstering her resolve. The laughter and chatter around them faded as the tension thickened, all eyes now on Clara. With each heartbeat, she could feel the deep-rooted belief that she was meant for more than what was expected of her. This was not merely about finding love. It was about claiming her place in this world. Clara knew she would face whatever came next with unwavering faith and fierce determination. After standing her ground against the rough cowboy, Clara felt a shift in the atmosphere around her. The tension eased slightly, and she noticed a few sympathetic faces among the patrons. A group of women sitting by the corner table exchanged knowing glances, recognizing her resolve. One of them, a curly-haired woman named May, caught Clara's eye and smiled warmly. May gestured for Clara to join them. As Clara approached, she felt less like an outsider and more like someone who belonged. "You've got guts, girl," May said as Clara sat down. Not many would stand up to Hank like that. Clara felt a flood of relief wash over her. "Thank you," she replied, her voice tinged with gratitude. The other women welcomed her into their circle, each sharing stories about their own experiences in the frontier town. Clara listened intently as they spoke of love, heartache, and the challenges they faced as women in a rough world. Their kindness revitalized her spirit and fueled her hope for finding companionship. In sharing laughter and insights with these women, Clara began to feel that she wasn't alone in her quest for love. She had newfound friendships that would support her along the way. As Clara settled into her new friendships with May and the other women, she began to notice the bartender moving through the saloon, serving drinks with an easy smile. His name was Jake, and he exuded a warmth that contrasted sharply with the roughness of the frontier town. Clara watched as he engaged kindly with the customers, listening attentively to their stories and offering advice when needed. One evening, after Clara shared her fears about finding a suitable partner, Jake approached her as he wiped down the bar. "You've got spirit, Clara," he said, leaning in slightly. "It's not easy for someone like you in a place like this, but I admire your courage." Startled by his sincerity, Clara felt a wave of gratitude. "Thank you, Jake. It's been tougher than I expected," she admitted. Jake nodded knowingly. "If you need anything, a place to stay or just advice on who to trust in this town, don't hesitate to ask. I'll have your back." His unexpected kindness filled Clara with a renewed sense of hope. With Jake looking out for her, she knew she had an ally who could help her navigate the challenges of frontier life and offer support as she continued her quest for love. As Clara reflected on her journey in the dim light of the saloon, she felt a mix of emotions swirling within her. This wild frontier town had turned out to be vastly different from the peaceful life she had envisioned. She thought about the letters that had promised love and adventure, yet here she was, surrounded by rough cowboys and the constant reminder of the dangers lurking just outside. Despite her hopes for companionship, the harsh realities of frontier life weighed heavily on her mind. Would she find the true love she sought, or would the challenges prove too great? Clara glanced at her Bible resting on the table, feeling its comforting presence. It reminded her of her faith and the strength she had drawn upon so far. With each encounter, whether standing up to the cowboy or forming bonds with May and Jake, Clara had learned that resilience was essential. She realized that while love was important, so was finding her own path in this unpredictable world. As she sat quietly, she resolved to embrace both her hopes and fears, knowing that each step forward was a part of her unique story, a story still waiting to unfold amidst the rugged landscape of her new life. The tension in the saloon hung heavy in the air as Clara squared off against the rough cowboy, Hank, who had been a thorn in her side since her arrival. Sparks flew as he approached her, a menacing grin on his face. "You think you can just waltz in here and claim your spot?" he taunted, his voice low and threatening. The patrons hushed, the vibrant saloon suddenly silent, all eyes riveted on the standoff. Clara's heart raced, but she summoned every ounce of courage she had. "I have every right to be here as much as you do," she replied, her voice steady despite the fear churning inside her. The flickering lanterns cast shadows that danced across their faces, intensifying the moment. Hank stepped closer, leaning into her personal space. "You're just a visitor. This is my town," he growled, his tough exterior cracking just enough for Clara to see the insecurity beneath. But Clara held her ground, gripping her Bible tightly. "I'm not afraid of you, Hank," she declared fiercely. The room seemed to take a collective breath, waiting for the next move. This was not just a battle of words. It was a test of Clara's newfound strength and resolve to stand firm against anyone who would try to push her down in her quest for love and belonging in this unforgiving world. The tension in the saloon reached a boiling point as Clara faced Hank, who seemed momentarily taken aback by her unwavering stance. Drawing a deep breath, she decided it was time to finish this confrontation once and for all. "If you think your bravado makes you powerful, you're mistaken," she said, her voice calm but firm. "True strength comes from standing up for what is right and treating others with respect. That's something you'll never understand." The patrons shifted nervously, hushed whispers rising around them as they processed her words. Clara glanced at the sympathetic faces of May and Jake, feeling their encouragement bolster her confidence. "I may be new here, but I won't let anyone push me around. I'm here to build a life, not to fight." Hank's expression shifted as he realized the weight of her conviction. The room seemed to hold its breath while he contemplated his next move. Finally, with a begrudging nod, he stepped back, acknowledging Clara's resolve. As the crowd relaxed and applause erupted from the bystanders, Clara felt a surge of pride wash over her. She had proven herself not only to Hank but also to all those witnessing her journey. In that pivotal moment, she found respect among those who once doubted her, solidifying her place in this wild frontier town. As Clara walked out of the saloon, the warmth of the evening sun filled her with a sense of newfound hope. The confrontation with Hank had solidified her strength and presence in this rugged frontier town, and she felt lighter as she embraced her journey ahead. The challenges she had faced only fueled her desire for love and belonging, transforming her earlier fears into motivation. With her Bible tucked securely under her arm and a smile on her face, Clara glanced around at the townsfolk, now recognizing faces that had once seemed foreign. She had forged friendships and discovered allies along the way, from the supportive women in the saloon to Jake, whose encouragement had lifted her spirits. More than just a mail-order bride, Clara was becoming a part of a community that valued bravery and resilience. As she strolled through the main street, Clara envisioned a future where she could share her dreams with a kind-hearted partner who would cherish her spirit. She was ready to face whatever came next, confident in her ability to create a life filled with love and adventure. With each step forward, she felt the promise of new beginnings flourishing before her, brightening the path ahead.